Hello and welcome you once again in this new session of geography, and today's topic is weathering and soil formation. In this lesson we will read about the types of rocks, then weathering, what is the weathering, then types of weathering, soil formation and soil profile. So let's start with the types of rocks. The lithosphere or the crust of the earth is made up of large variety of rocks, and the rocks are defined as any natural mass of minerals matter that makes up the crust of earth. So what is in the lithosphere, or you can say it, the crust of the earth? It is all made up of varieties of the rocks, and these rocks are actually the natural mass of minerals matters. The rock differed from another in color, one another in color, their structure, their texture, their mode of occurrence, etc. The mode of the formation of the earth crust are of three types. Earth rocks are of three types: igneous rock, sedimentary rocks, and monometamorphic rocks. And what is igneous rocks? Now, let's start with the igneous. It derives from the Latin word ignis, which means fire. Igneous, the word ignis of the igneous is came from the Latin word which means fire. The igneous rocks are associated with the volcanic eruption. When the word fire came, that means it is associated with the volcanic eruptions, where the hot molten materials, which known as an magma, is found in a great depth of this earth. The magma is brought to the surface of the earth during the volcanic eruptions when the molten magma, which is known as lava, which cools and solidified. When it comes out, it becomes cool and it becomes a solid, and it forms an igneous rocks. It forms then igneous rocks. Igneous rocks are also known as the primary rocks. These are igneous rocks are of two types. One is extrusive igneous rocks and another is intrusive igneous rocks. Extrusive igneous rocks are formed by the cooling of the molten lava. When the molten lava comes out from the volcanic eruption, when it cools down, it becomes hard. It is known as extrusive igneous rocks. The hot lava cools down rapidly and becomes solid mass. Especially you can find it in a Deccan Plateau. These Deccan Plateau of India are extrusive igneous rocks. Intrusive igneous rocks are formed when the hot molten magma cools down and solidifies into inside the crust of the earth. So, intrusive igneous rocks, it when it cool down on the surface of the earth, and intrusive igneous rocks solidified inside the crust of the earth. The difference is that extrusive solidified on the surface of the earth, intrusive solidified on the deep inside of the earth. Then they form a crystal like granite, grinding stones. The igneous rocks are hard and smooth. These rocks do not have a fossils or any animals or plants. They are smooth, they are hard, and they don't contain any fossils, any animals or any plant. Most of the igneous rocks gives us iron, coal, aluminium. Now what are the sedimentary rocks? Sedimentary rocks are the rocks which has a small fragments, and these small fragments are known as sediments, and they are carried away and deposited the agents of gradations. They are the fragments, small fragments due to the weathering of cause is the weathering, and these sediments deposit in one place and then they form the rock which is known as sedimentary rock. With that it is known as a sedimentary rock. Like rivers, glaciers, winds and sea waves, there these rocks are being formed. Then metamorphic rocks. What are the metamorphic rocks? See, it is a sedimentary rock. See, this is sedimentary rocks, very smooth and metamorphic rocks. The term metamorphic has been derived from the metamorphose. It has been derived from the metamorphose, which means change in form. That means it was previously was something like different, later on it has been changed. How it has been changed? Because the minerals are in these rocks change their composition and texture under the high temperature and pressure. When the temperature goes up, the minerals in these rocks change their composition. Sometimes they become smooth, sometimes they become hard. For example, limestone. It can change into the marble, and clay can change into the stone. Limestone can change into the marble. See here, a picture is there. A limestone is now changing into the marbles. Because they have a very high specific gravity. So the significance of the rocks are a great use of as they composed of the various minerals. Soils are derived from the weathering of the rocks. Rocks are the source of metals like iron, copper, gold, fossil fuels, etc. We get all the petroleum products from them. We got the fossil fuels, we got the metal like iron, copper, gold, etc. Weathering. What is weathering? Weathering is the disintegration and decomposition of the rock. It is the decomposition of the rock, and where the temperature, moistures, and we get the rainwater. These all are the agents of this temperature, moisture, frost action and rainwater, and all these agents help disintegrate. That means to break the rock into pieces. Now the types of weathering. What are the types of weathering? Weatherings are of three types. See, this is the marble rock. These are the marble rocks. From the limestone it becomes the marble rocks in Jabalpur, India. The types of the weatherings are of three types: mechanical weathering, chemical weathering and biological weathering. Now see the mechanical weathering. Mechanical weathering, you can say it is a physical weathering also. We say it is known as an physical weathering, as there is no change in the chemical composition of the rock. It remains same. For the mechanical weathering of the changes in the temperature, frost, action, wind, etc. This is more active in the dry areas. This is more active in the dry area, and they are of the four types: block disintegration, granular disintegration, exfoliation. Then fourth is frost action. Now what is block disintegration? Where the temperature is very high during the daytime and it causes the expand. When the time in the daytime it expand due to the heat, while when the temperature is low, again it contract. It is squeezed, and due to this unequal amount of expansion and the contraction of the rock over a long period of time, it cracks. It appears on the surface of the rocks, and it makes the block. See, due to this reason, this happened here. Can you see it? It's converted into a species because due to the temperature, when it goes high, it expands. When there is the cold, it squeezed, so it broke down. Then we will read about the granular disintegration. So what is the granular disintegration? Granular disintegration is in which the rock crust are made up of different types of minerals, and these minerals expand and contract at different rates of thrust and cause a series of cracks in the rocks. These are due to this, because of in the earth crust there are different types of minerals, and all these minerals expand and they contract at different rates, and that cause the breakage in the rocks. Then exploration. What is the exploration? In some cases, due to the structure of rocks, the outer layer expand more than an inner layer. This is exploration. See, outer layer is being cracked. There are the layers of the crack there because it caused the losing of the outer layer, because there as an expandation inside, then expandation outside it cracks, and this is known as a mechanical weathering called of exfoliation. Then we will read about the frost action. Frost action is in the mountain or in the cold region. The cracks in the rock mass get filled with rainwater. During the rain time, all these cracks, the cracks you have seen upper in all these three exploitation on this mechanical weathering, in that place, in the water used to fill up there, and at night due to the low temperature these water freezes and the volume increase. Naturally, when the water will go in the crack and during the night it freezes and it expand. When it expand, this lead to the widening of the cracks due to the continuous melting and freezing of the water in the cracks, and finally the rocks break down due to the stress, of the frozen water. This is called frost action. This see here, water droplet is here. When it becomes cold, it is making the crack here. Then again it go deep because of the frost, and later on it see there are the pieces over there. So now that's all for this session. We will once again start with this lesson in our next session with the chemical weathering and soil erosion and soil formation and biological weathering. Till then, take care of your health, read this lesson, watch this video very carefully, and take care of your health. We will once again meet in our next session.